Yo, y'all like the thing with the string? It's your boy Chep Woods, and this is Generational Money. All right, so in Generational Money, I'll be interviewing professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners, and we'll be discussing pretty much their business journey, the ins and outs of their business, as well as their ideas on generational wealth. So today, I have with me Hydiah Emerald. What's up, Hydiah? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, coming on the show. It's been a couple years we've been rocking with each other professionally.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of tap into who Hydiah is before we get into what Hydiah is, right?
Right.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about like who you are, what you do, and that way the audience can get a little familiar too.
Okay. Well, I'm an artist. I'm a creative because I do art in like different forms. Like I used to do art with like my nails, baking, painting, obviously.
Culinary. Okay.
Yeah, baking. Just all around creative stuff, making clothes. I went to school for visual art.
Okay.
So.
You went to school for art.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. So when did you first like get into art?
I feel like cliche would be like since I was born, but like real life since I was born. Like my granny and my mom used to put me in like coloring contests and stuff when I was little, but like I wasn't really taking it serious. It was just something I was good at.
Right.
But I've always been creative.
So as far as taking it serious and like putting yourself out there as an artist, when did that start?
2017. So like when I was in college and getting out of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you get out of college?
So I started college in 2016, and then my dad passed away, so I ended up having to leave school. Thanks. And I had started my business as clothes at first, so it was Hydiah Emerald, but it was just as clothes and like me drawing on clothes.
Okay.
And then after my dad passed away, I used art as therapy, and then I kind of just transformed it from clothes to just straight art and just art therapy for like other people.
So no more clothes?
Yes, clothes still, but it just will be under another name.
Fact. Because since I known you, I ain't seen no apparel. I've only seen the canvases and the paintings.
I know, because that was the main focus, because I feel like, well, Hydiah Emerald is my first and middle name.
Okay.
So I feel like because I ended up changing it into that and it was just art therapy, I was like, okay, this is me. Because like I'm learning who I am through this or through my brand. So I feel like, yeah, I did clothes, but I started with coloring.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that's a plot twist, y'all. Emerald is her middle name.
Yeah.
I thought this was a first and last name. All right? I ain't gonna ask a government on the show.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about that behind the scenes, though. I need that. So did you sell any clothes?
Yeah, I sell clothes. So at first I did, like my first launch was t-shirts.
Okay.
So I had like yellow, which was like limited edition. I had gray and like khaki.
And you was painting on the clothes.
So I went to like a graphic designer. So like I drew like an actual thing, and then I went to the graphic designer or whatever, and they basically just
So where you can do it multiple, so you don't have to draw each one. I was wondering, like, was you exclusive every piece?
Okay, but I was handwriting little like sayings on each shirt.
Okay, so it still was a piece of,
yeah.
That's dope. Right. That's dope. Okay, so man, can you tell us a little bit more about some of your collections? And I also want to talk about your most recent collection as well, but I kind of want to like lead up to that.
Okay, so like the first one.
The first one, or like the first one, and then like maybe your favorite, if not. If it ain't the first one.
Okay, because I got a lot of things.
Right. Or how many collections have you done, if you can count, like since you...
Okay, so I took it serious in like 2017. So when I went back home, I started painting, obviously. So from 2018 to 2022, I had about 27 paintings. So I like broke them down into 6 collections.
Okay.
So they all formed one collection, which was my first art show.
Okay, so you had, over the course of a few years, done
6
collections, but it was really like telling a complete full story.
A complete full story, yeah. Which was my first art show.
That's dope. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Okay, so It's called Come and Find Your Soul. So
Coming for
Come and Find Your Soul.
Come and Find Your Soul.
Yeah,
I actually know that. I did the
right. You did
promotion artwork for it, but I got you right. Come and Find Your Soul.
So I did Come and Find Your Soul. So it's basically like me explaining the beginning to end on healing. So it started from toxic and it ended in mastered. So it just showed like all of the things that I've mastered, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
it's like an illustration of your growth.
Yeah, it was basically when I had like my awakening, I guess you want to say, if you want to get spiritual. And I had like a breakdown. So like that's where it started as toxic. And then like I kind of broke down what toxic was to me. And then like it went to body, pause, heal, and then master and everything. And then it's like from where you started to like where you end, basically. But it's like a full collection of 27 paintings.
From 2017 to 2022, correct?
Yeah.
So from 2022 to now, we working on another like multiple series of collections. That's one big collection. We keeping that
basically
same
keeping the
process
same
going.
flow, but they're gonna be
dope.
smaller instead of just 27. Because that was just my first like launch. Me like kind of going out there. But I did have another collection after that.
Oh, you had another collection?
Yeah.
What was that called?
Which was You're the Flower that you have that I gotta protect.
Am I familiar with that one?
Yeah.
Do I know that?
Yeah.
What is it called?
You the Flower I gotta protect.
Man, you know, we've done a lot of work.
We've done a lot of work. But it's like a play on words of this song by Black and J. Cole. Pretty Little Fears.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, what did he say? He was like, to keep alive in the wintertime, you the flower that I gotta protect. To keep alive in the wintertime. So don't you die yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like a wordplay of that. So I basically feel like I'm the flower that I have to protect.
Dope.
Yeah.
So how many was that like a multiple
so
collections into
6.
one?
Yeah, that was only 6 paintings.
One collection, 6 paintings. Okay. So the latest collection, let's explore that a little bit.
Yeah, so that one's called Helium. But it's gonna be pronounced Healing Them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. So she's thinking.
I was thinking. So it's weird, but not weird. So my first ever logo was a periodic cube with my initials. So HE on the periodic table was helium, obviously. And that was my first
not everybody
logo.
knows that.
Yeah, everybody don't know that. That was my first logo. But my graphic designer was like, I don't think you should use that for your logo. Like, maybe just hold off on it. Like, just keep it, you know, like, and the thing is just maybe make your signature your logo. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should do that. But, like, now I can use it for my collection because it's about helium.
Dope. But shout out to your graphic designer. You know, I do some
shout out to my graphic designer.
I disagree, though. I think that it would have been a dope logo.
Yeah.
Just because of the story behind it. But it worked out, and I don't disagree with you using your signature. That still was dope, too.
I also feel like that me using my signature allows me to branch out into so many more things using my same brand. Versus, like, if I was to use the periodic table with all of the marble and the numbers and all that, and they're, like, trying to figure out so many different things versus just focusing on me.
So you think it kind of limits you?
Yeah.
Like, you don't think you could put the periodic table on whatever it is that Hydiah Emerald does, and it'll make sense for what it is Hydiah Emerald is doing?
Yes, but I also want to branch and transform out of just mental health. You know, like, I don't want everything just to be about healing. Like, you can live your life too. Like, you can do some other stuff. So I don't want it to just be about that one thing. Like, I want you to see my brand and be like, oh, okay, she can do other things.
She's more than just a healed Black woman.
Right. So strong. Like, I want to be able to be like, okay, once we're done, we're done. Because I do have a final collection that's going to end the complete series. And then after that, I'm just going to be free painting.
So the first set, I forget how many.
The first 27.
I was going to say 72. The first 27 paintings was the first. And then the second collection was just 6.
Was
the second. And this third one is going to, like, you're going to tie all that into one, and it's like the complete series.
The last one is the fourth one. The fourth and final.
Yeah. So no more paintings free paintings, no more collections.
No, there'll be collections, but they won't be so healing focused.
Got you.
You know what I mean? They'll just be what I want to paint.
Facts.
And by that time, I would hope that like I'm known enough to where people are like, "What you doing next?"
And when you say by that time, what's that look like? When you plan on that final collection coming out next year?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, can you tell me about some of the milestones that you've had like in your career? Like I know for me, being around a little bit for some of it, like I thought that the art show you put together was like hella dope. Like I was mega proud of you for
thank you.
pulling it off. You know, people came through. I don't really know like what you was able to sell or what people purchased off of it, but it was definitely a decent turnout for your first. And it was like out in the burbs, like out the way, so it was like dope. So I mean, outside of that, you could touch on that too if you want, but like any other like milestones or achievements.
So as far as that, I sold about 2 or 3 from that collection, and I burnt the rest.
Burnt the rest. Not the originals though.
Yeah.
You burnt the original paint and forks. My G, you could have hit me up before you. Like I probably would have donated you something. You gonna burn it? I mean,
okay. So I feel like I'm a fire sign, so I feel like that would seem dramatic, but it's not dramatic. Like it was a thought process behind it. So for me, I'm an energy person. So for me, when I was doing that collection, I was going through a lot. So I felt like I didn't really feel like that anybody needed to buy those. It wasn't about
if they weren't bought already. It's like
the ones that were sold were beautiful meanings behind them.
So the ones that you burnt, had somebody wanted to purchase one prior to it being burnt, would you have told them no to burn it, or would you have sold it?
That's why God didn't have nobody ask to buy them.
Her. So you mentioned the fire sign, and I feel like if you know Hydiah, then you know that she into astrology.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, can you kind of like just tell me about like how you incorporate astrology into your art, or like what led you to even have the idea to do so?
So where would I start? I feel like that's a long conversation.
Shout out to Heidi.
That's my mama, y'all. But how would I start that? So I'm a Leo, July 26th, obviously. That's why my last collection is going to be in 2026.
So, hey, it's always an extra story, a plot twist story, deep message with Hydiah art. So I'll watch it.
It does kind of have a play on astrology a little bit too, but it's more so just like the moon cycles. I'm gonna give y'all some tips. Learn about your birth chart.
Okay.
That's gonna teach you some stuff about yourself. A lot of people are like, "Oh, astrology's fake. You know, you read your horoscope. How does that apply to everybody?" Like, one thing can be true for multiple people in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you can say something, but the principle can apply in like multiple different things. Like I could say something and you can relate to it in a totally different way than I'm relating to it. You know what I mean?
So with the astrology, where you dropping some tips, like I know a lot of people talk about like manifestation and people, I don't know if like studying numbers go hand in hand with that. I'm into it a little bit, not as deep as I would like to be.
Okay.
I probably learned a little bit more
learning.
Since me and you first met and had our first astrology conversation, but I'm still not where I would be had I been consistent. But what is your thoughts and ideas, or maybe even tips you could tell the people, like how they could use astrology to like manifest abundance and like maybe if they have financial goals or a business goal, how can they use astrology or get in tune with themselves to, you know, predict the future and manifest abundance?
Where would I say to start? I mean, I learned through like experiences, Google, YouTube, Patreon, my mom. We have a lot of astrology books in my house. That's how I first started getting into it. Wow, how would I say to use it to your thing? Can we talk about religion or like?
So what are you going to talk
Okay, so I don't really feel like it's necessarily astrology. I'm more spiritual than religious. So that's a whole different topic. I talk to God.
Okay.
So I wouldn't really be like, oh, astrology, you know, apply this here, apply this here. It's just like me talking to him allows me to be able to understand astrology, how to apply it. So it would be hard for me to be able to explain that because it's a personal experience.
So talk to God.
Yeah.
Understand.
Like really talk to him. Like not on no like go to church every Sunday.
Right. This
You know
is
what I'm saying?
establish
Really talk to him.
a real relationship.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why
talk
I
and
am
listen.
where I'm at. Yeah.
I hear you. Is your art part-time or full-time?
It is. I'm working towards it to be full-time financially, but it's full-time mentally.
Dope. So like, what are maybe some of the struggles, or what are some of the things that you feel like you need to do in order to get there full-time?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Because I don't really feel like the talent is the issue, not to like prop myself up or anything. I think it's about exposure because it's about the right people that need to see you. I think my target audience is everybody, if that makes sense. But I feel like
you want to try to niche it down, because if it's everybody, I mean.
But it's okay for me. God told me to do it because it's supposed to hit everybody.
And I'm not saying it's not for everybody, but when you're dealing with marketing, I'm not saying you can't have a product or something that's for just the general public, but niching it down, narrowing it down will kind of just help you to collect information to kind of like resend out your marketing campaigns to get the results you need. Then like once you, like you might be more suited for a young woman, right? You get the young women on deck. It's stuff that you got for men. Right. The men might start looking when they see that the women on point, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people group think. So if you, again, not to say your stuff not for everybody, but if you kind of like pick a target that you feel like you want to explore, or you could look at like who have made the purchases based off your past collections and say, well, man, women or older women or younger women are the people who've been supporting me. So I'm gonna make that my target audience. And from there, you know what I'm saying, you could kind of like, just I say, collect the information and move some things around. You know what I mean? And then once you like checking enough money monthly to where your expenses paid, you could kind of like market yourself to a wider audience. Kind of like what your goal is in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to say don't have that goal, but maybe work to it instead of coming out the gate marketing to everybody.
Right. You know, I get that. Yeah. I guess when I say everybody, I mean like my goal is to be in like galleries, do Art Basel, magazines, and like I said, I'm still doing fashion. So I want to do Fashion Week and things like that. Right now, I'm collabing with a fashion brand called Reviews. They're based out in Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to Rio. So right now we're doing a jacket collab where I'm painting on clothes. Okay. So we're gonna do like an entire collection. So obviously the goal would be to be in Fashion Week.
Facts. And but to that marketing conversation we was having, it just hit me too. People, when you mention the clothes, like a lot of people buy clothes. A lot of people don't buy canvases, artwork.
Unless they really know about it.
Or appreciate it, like, but a lot of people who would even appreciate it, like, don't have the money to necessarily afford the original piece. Like my mom's got artwork all in the crib, but it's likely not the direct piece from the artist. It's like something she seen out.
But see, that's why I was going the route of like doing prints.
Right, I get that. I was just speaking in terms of the marketing. Like, if you're gonna spend $100, $200, $1,000 to market, I would probably try to market people who got like a $250,000 net worth of annual income, because they the people who likely appreciate or got the time and affordability to purchase this stuff. That way, like, your marketing dollars is going straight toward a specific audience, and then like all of your community that you know, your social media, all of the reach that you have without paying for the reach, the organic, like
Right.
Could be the prince, the people who a dude like me who appreciate your work, but I can't maybe afford
the bigger piece.
The
of
bigger,
original.
you know what I'm saying? Even though I need that player, I ain't hear this kind of was that. But
I'm saying, but also to that, I feel like that's why that's the hustle, like that's the grind, you know, about like getting into different things, because when you do get to those people or reach those people, they're gonna be like, so what did you do? You know, or like, what have you done? Like, or what can you show me? So that's why it's like, all right, well, now I got to get out of my comfort zone. Like, now I have to start like showing like, hey, well, I did an art show here. I did pop-ups here.
Well, you got the collections. You got
yeah.
50, 40 pieces of
items. Yeah, I have a nice portfolio. Yeah,
for sure. Working, nice portfolio. So, and me personally, I definitely am interested in seeing what you on clothes will do. I think you're creative. I think that even like how your style is, how you dress is different than like average woman, I would say.
Average.
So like you could tell you artsy. So like to see how you express yourself with the clothes, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to purchasing something myself or something. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I feel like that'd be a little more affordable within the range. You know what I'm saying?
You never know.
So like, let me ask you, how do you approach pricing your work? Like,
I definitely will say I got better.
Yeah, I know me personally as a photographer, graphic design, film. That's still to this day, one of the toughest things for me. Like pricing my work, and that's mainly because of the community. Like, the people that I have a lot of direct contact with who reach out to me.
Building relationships with them.
Yeah, but they can't afford what I want.
Right.
Like maybe a corporation or maybe a platform that's generating 5-10 figures monthly, and they have the budget to do that.
Right.
But you know, you've been doing art longer than I've had a camera. So like me personally, my value goes up.
Yeah.
As I grow, as I get new equipment, as I learn new things, and exactly. But you've been doing it way much longer, so your value, I would imagine, you probably look at your stuff like you want to charge.
I do, but
how do you go about?
You do, but I also think you have to be like humble. Like I think that like creativity is freedom. So like you can't go into creativity with a money mindset, or you're gonna be broke. So
looking at the camera, that's a gym for y'all right there.
But like, so you know what I mean? Obviously, before I used to lowball myself,
and that's what I was gonna say. How do you find that balance between making something that's affordable to the consumer and lowballing yourself?
I feel like that you do have to go off experience, but I feel like you have to, it's a difference between experience and working experience.
Right.
Because I feel like it's like, I had experience because I've been coloring and all that since I was 4. But a 4-year-old drawing in the lines is different than
you ain't sold
actually doing something.
$1 million worth of art yet. If you did, it'd be another story.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I feel like you have to like think like that at the same time. So like me, I put into the materials, factor that in. Like obviously before I was using like maybe level 1 canvases and maybe Walmart paint. So I'm not gonna charge you $5,000 for, even if I did the work, but it's not gonna last.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like the value of it isn't the same. So like that would be me kind of just, I'm not being humble. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, for me too, like the studio space and the equipment and the time that I want for the actual work, like my hourly time, right? Like all of that got to get factored in.
Yeah, you definitely got to factor in.
It's like when I get the number, it kind of be heavy. So I'll be like, all right.
You got to break it down.
What do I feel like I'm willing to do? I'm willing to come down, but how much?
I feel like as long as you break even, like you want to profit.
So you're gonna lose yourself when I was watching an interview with Lupita had put on this young lady's art and like her life change. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna lose yourself and be over taxing.
No, because
when that happens, you feel me?
Like just as easy as God give it to you, he can take it.
Facts.
So like I feel like me personally, me personally, I asked for the hardships before the money so that I knew how to handle it when I got it. So I asked for it backwards.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to like have it happen.
Now you mentioned you want to do more galleries. Like, what's your plans or thoughts on getting into the galleries? Like, how does an artist go about getting into art galleries? You know
I feel like the big way is relationships. Like if you're trying to get into like the bigger galleries, like a lot of times you have to know somebody. It's okay. I feel like you have to know somebody, but you can apply. So
like, you can just apply.
Yeah, you can apply. Like they have like open artist call.
Can you pay your way into them?
Of course, money talks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What them numbers look like? Like what you need to really like. You got what you need. 1,000,
the applications
10,000
aren't too much, but like okay, if I wanted to go to Art Basel, like a box is 5,000.
So all you needed the 5,000. Your art got to be good.
Down there. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Like you gotta have the 5,000 and be selected. Like the 5,000, they gonna guarantee you no spot.
More or less.
So
like it would depend on the application. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on. But like that was just me using, like Art Basel as an example.
But bottom line, you can invest this 5,000.
You can invest and still not do anything. That's why I try not to like go into things that like are so costly, because if you're trying to build a brand, like yes, it takes money to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like scare money not gonna make no money. But you also have to be smart with your investments.
Fact.
And make sure that something is gonna be profitable for you. So like for example, I did West Elm and Pottery Barn. All of those were free. You know what I'm saying? And I made a profit because I sold. I didn't have to pay to be there though. So like shout out to them.
Shout out to y'all. Do you have a team, or do you do when you go out to the Pottery Barn and the West Elm, or like I noticed you had some of your homegirls kind of rocking with you when you did your art show, but like, do you have a dedicated go-to team? Like they know what time it is. Like when you call them, you let them know what's up. They on point, they on deck, or they just like you getting it out the mud.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes and no.
Okay.
I have a team, which is my mom and my friends.
Okay. Like how many friends would you say?
I would say a solid 2.
Okay.
That's like
they're pull up every time.
Every time.
No, but shout out to Cassandra and Camille though. They definitely be locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I see
every time.
I'm surprised they ain't here right now for real.
It's okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Getting their beauty rest.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and my mom and me. But like as far as like Hydiah Emerald, like I run my brand. Like I make my website. Like I pack the orders, I send the orders off, I paint the pictures. Like my mom buys me canvases sometimes.
Is it tough like managing wearing all those hats, or is it like not a problem to you? It is part of
I think I'm kind of used to it. I think that's just how my brain works. Like that's how it's wired.
So you think that like if you was making 10,000 a month off this stuff, like it'd be 20,000 a month, it'd be easy for you to offset some of these tasks, so you like so locked in, it'd be kind of tough for you to let go of.
I feel like I'm ready for it.
Yeah, you ready for some of that? Okay.
I'm ready for it.
And we kind of talked about it a little bit throughout the course of the conversation, but I just want to like close out by asking you like I know you get into the clothes and you say you're gonna get away from the healing.
Yeah.
Them.
Mm-hmm. Healing them, yeah.
Aspect of things, but like outside of maybe just the clothes and the other collections, any other plans with the art for the future, near future?
I want to do like a closing show.
Okay.
In 2026.
Okay.
Where I do like from beginning to end, literally.
Like every piece in there is you.
Come and find your soul, all the way to my last collection.
Clothing, you said.
Yeah.
I thought you said clothing.
No.
Okay, so you just want to have like everything. Okay, that's
like
tough.
So I don't have the original pieces anymore, but I have photos. So I want to do like a photo gallery kind of thing or whatever. But all of them are going to be photos until the last collection, and then the last collection will be all the originals, obviously, because that's the last one.
And I think the last question I got for you is like everything work out for you ideally, right? What does that look like? Like, what is the end goal for Hydiah Emerald? Like, you know, we all trying to get generational wealth, right? I don't know if you don't have kids.
No.
Right. We don't have kids, but we got family. We maybe have some in the future, so we want to leave something behind.
Yeah.
So like, the end game when it's all said and done for Hydiah Emerald, what does that like look like ideally?
I think the end goal is to change the narrative.
For what?
For everything. Like, whatever comes in after me, if I choose to like have kids and like keep it going and everything, I don't want them to know. I would want them to know everything that they're supposed to, but I would want them to have a different foundation to start on. If that makes sense. So like, I feel like I'm a general curse breaker.
So
multiple things.
So there's nothing you want to leave to nobody to pick up, or even like what you get from it. If you obtain some wealth, you want to leave that to.
Yeah, but I want to leave like the start to something new. Like, I want to change the narrative instead of like, you know, the little meme or the little picture where it's like the grandpa like yelling at the dad, and then the dad is like yelling at his son, and then the son yelling at the other son, and then it has to stop with you.
Send that to me. We gonna throw it in the video because I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, it's a little picture or whatever that goes around or whatever, and it's basically implying like it stops with you. Like, you don't have to be the thing that like keeps going down. So that's what I mean by like changing the narrative, but applying that to generational wealth as well. Because I feel like that you have to change your mindset and your relationship with money.
Because you make it kind of, to me, sound like it's like Hydiah Emerald is a curse or something. Like,
no, it's not a curse, but it's literally like breaking like anything can be generationally broken. So like, in a sense where it's like, say your mom and her mom, or your dad and his dad or whatever, were like super bad with managing money. But then when you come in, you like, he's cutting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are already changing the mindset of that, you helping your mom, your dad, they mama, they daddy, if they still alive, obviously, whatever. Because now they looking at you in a different mindset than what they had as an example for.
Right.
So like, I'm saying that as like a whole because it all applies. So like, not just about the money side to it, but I'm saying like, that's what I mean, like change the narrative. So like, if I'm doing this and I'm starting, it's like, obviously that's gonna come with money management and all those type of things. That's me starting something new. You know what I mean?
So like, your legacy just gonna be up after you everybody's
yeah, it's
up.
gonna be like, we don't know what
poverty is.
Yeah. On everything though, not just cash in your hand.
Yeah. But just how to navigate like, being
your
a good
emotions, like
person.
Just literally.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Hey, before we get out of here, Hydiah, let them know where they can follow you on social media.
It's Hydiah Emerald on everything.
Okay, you got a website too, right?
Yes. So it's HydiahEmerald.com.
Okay. All right, y'all. One more thing. Stay tuned. We got a sneak peek of Hydiah's latest collection, Healing Them, which drops February 1st on our website, HydiahEmerald.com. Man, this is the first episode of where am I? This is the first episode of Generational Money. I hope y'all enjoyed. I want to thank Hydiah Emerald for popping out, chopping it up with me. Shout out to Royalty Productions. We out. Chep!
So this is my PC 32. It's short for Colossians 3:2. I'm not gonna say the Bible verse. And it is the first installment for my collection Helium. And it's one of my favorite collections to date, honestly. So it's paper mache, which is something new that I've never done before. And I paper mache all of my psychiatric evaluations, my depression and anxiety diagnosis, therapy sessions, psychiatric sessions, and I just kind of place them onto the canvas to look like burst balloons in a way. And then the top is blue and the bottom is green to represent Colossians 3:2. So it sets your sights on things up above and not on earthly things. And yeah, that's just my play on how I've overcame the diagnosis and stuff. Okay, so this is my pain and balloon memory. It's the second installment of Helium, and it represents elephant memory and dissociation. So basically, trauma makes us forget shit, and that's kind of just my representation of this. So the balloons are kind of disappearing because that's supposed to represent our memories. Also, it's kind of just a play on when we do balloon releases when people pass away. I feel like our thoughts kind of go with them at the same time. So my little vibe for that. And then instead of balloon strings, it's stems for like flowers and everything. So it's kind of like a rest in peace memories. Okay, so this is Chemical Element, and it is the third installment to my collection Helium, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So there is a flower, and instead of it being inside of the tube that the florist gives you, it is in a test tube, and it's pretty poisonous, basically. And the moss flowers, which are made out of real moss, are the balloons that are taking the flower out of the environment. The butterflies are really just the growth from being out of the environment. And yeah. Okay, so this piece is called Mother Helium, and it's pronounced Mother Healing Them. And it is the fourth and final piece to my collection Helium. So basically, it is it's like Mother Nature, but in a healing type of way. So it's creativity personified as a healing force, represented as Hydiah Emerald or known as Hydiah Emerald. So it's basically a worldly balloon and Mother Nature healing the world, but it's also a play on words with the helium. And instead of the string again, it's another stem for the flowers, and then this represents like a vase and the flowers and the growth that comes from the healing. And that's the piece.